continues on. And, things are looking pretty solidly for the Jets. We're going to be talking about Zach Wilson. Lot to talk about him and everything that he's been doing. Also going to be discussing, various topics and various things. So, again, call in 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Lines are open. We're going to get to everybody. Give me 1 second, folks. We'll connect the audio. Hold on 1 second.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. I'm back at it. Salutes to everybody listening, everybody watching. Man, it is so much to, talk about with this New York Jets football team right now. A lot to discuss. Training camp continues on. We've made moves since the last show. There's been guys that have been added to the roster. There's also been some position changes as well we're going to discuss. We're also going to discuss Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has been, doing his thing. He's had some ups, he's had some downs, but he's continuing forward. So salutes to all the Savages in the chat as well. We're going to go back and forth today. Again, lines are open, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Listen, it is time to get to it. Let me open up the show. I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. Again, salutes to all the Savages. E-Man, Mac, salutes to y'all. Listen, your boy is on iTunes, okay? I'm on iTunes, all right? Go on over to iTunes, search The Long Beach Joe Show, okay? Subscribe to that. Leave me some ratings. Leave me a 5-star rating. And leave me some feedback. Let me know what you folks think about what I'm doing here on the show. And again, I want to thank and let everybody know that I appreciate everyone that does do that. Really love the feedback. Really love, hearing about how much you folks like the show or just your thoughts about, what I'm doing over here. I really, really appreciate that. Listen, your boy is also live on YouTube. For those of you that don't know, if you want to see this face, okay, look, I'm not a cocky guy. I'm not arrogant or nothing like that. I'm just a regular guy. But there's a lot of people that say, hey, Joe, you looking good, man. You out here, you looking good, okay? And I appreciate those kind comments, And they say, hey, we really like what you're doing on YouTube. Your show's live. We have a lot of fun there. We be in the chat with the Savages, just going back and forth about the New York Jets and everything else. And I say, hey, thank you for coming on by. So if you want to be a part of what we're doing here on YouTube, you want to watch the live shows, you want to see the content that we put together or that I put together over here, come on over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. So when I post content, y'all be in the know, and then you get to see me. You know what I'm saying? You get to see me. A lot of people say voice made for radio, face made for TV. I'm just saying, I'm not an arrogant guy. I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? Just respecting everybody and going back and forth. So I appreciate everybody that does come on by and subscribes and hit that notification bell and, leaves comments and goes back and forth in the chat. Again, salutes to everybody, all the Savages, NY Jets FL, everybody. You know what I'm saying? So finally, good to see you in here too. Salutes to all of you. So you can also follow me across my social media platforms as well. You can go on Twitter, YoungJ000. That's my personal page. You can also follow the show's page at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe. That's the show's page. We talk football. We talk about it all. So, we love going back and forth and having a good time. So you can check all of those things out, man. Now with that put beside us, Man, listen, training camp continues on, and I am hyped, okay? I'm fired up and I'm hyped about what the New York Jets are doing. I'm excited about training camp as we continue to work through this process. And this is a situation where I look at it and I go, there's a couple things that I want to see out of camp, right? Of course, you want to see the battles. You want to see, who's made of what. You want to see the growth of the young guys and the flashes that they're going to give you. You know what I'm saying? You want to see where you're at with some of the veterans. But I want to see guys make it out of camp healthy, okay? Look, we've already seen some injuries, go on around the NFL where guys may be out for the entire season, some players that really are big-time players on certain teams. I want to see the New York Jets come into preseason, healthy, come into camp healthy, leave camp healthy, go into preseason healthy, leave preseason healthy, and get out to this season fully healthy. We saw that we had those issues last season where we had a lot of guys that, we ended up missing. I remember Elijah Moore had, some time where he sat down because of a quad injury, which affected him as well going into the preseason. I remember Elijah Vera Tucker had an issue with his pectoral that costed him some preseason games too. We saw Quentin Williams go down with a foot injury that costed him going into the season. We lost Carl Lawson pretty early in the offseason, and that costed him, the whole season. Even Gerard Davis, a guy who's not here anymore, but he was, one of our linebackers, that costed us going into the season. So there were so many guys, that, we missed because of injuries going on. So I'm just really hoping that the New York Jets can remain healthy going into, as we continue throughout this offseason going into the season. That's one of the things that I think is one of the most important, or the most important thing for us going forward. The New York Jets have also made some moves. Toledo linebacker coach Pat Benstein has left the Toledo Rockets, and now he's joined the New York Jets coaching staff. He's going to be an offensive assistant. So it's exciting to hear, we're getting another coach in the building. And again, we've got some great coaches here already. When you just look at, Sulla, LaFleur, Albrecht, those guys are amazing, especially a guy like Mike LaFleur, who for the first part of the season, a lot of Jets fans wanted him gone last season. But we saw as he continued on that offense and his play calling is pretty solid, and he did a pretty good job. And again, Robert Sulla, has continued to show that he is a guy that is really going to ascend as a coach in this league. He's really doing a lot of things. And one of the things that I saw in training camp that really had me fired up about him was during a practice, he actually stopped the practice to huddle up the team because he didn't like their energy coming out of a water break. And he addressed it immediately, and the team responded to him. And they continued on and practiced with some good energy. And I know a lot of people look at that and they go, well, Joe, why does that matter much? That, that's not a big deal. Oh, it is a big deal because how you practice is how you play, right? Everyone hates Adam Gase. Everyone hated him when he was here. Of course, he was awful. He's probably the worst Jets coach that ever, had ever coached the football team. And when you look at the situation, there were players coming out during his tenure while he was here and talking about how the practices were awful. There were veteran guys coming out saying these practices are trash. They're not getting, it's like everybody's just out there sleepwalking. Well, then we saw the product on the field turn out to be the same way. Guys just out there sleepwalking. Guys not getting things done. Sometimes guys didn't know their assignments. All kinds of things going on. So Sulla is breaking that mold. We got this new guy in the building who's completely changing the face of the franchise. And he's saying, listen, you're not going to come through here and sleepwalk through my practices. Pick up your energy, get to where you need to go, get there with speed, and get it done. Because again, how you practice is how you play. That is setting a tone. When you set a tone for the football team, when you set a tone for your expectations, when you set a tone with the players, guess what? They have nothing to do but respect you and follow your orders. That's you stepping up and being a leader of this New York Jets football team. That is huge for us because for so long, we've had issues with coaching. We talk about the players, we talk about the talent, we talk about all that stuff. But the issues with coaching has been one of the biggest issues with the New York Jets. From Bowles to Gaze, there's been a lot of issues here. And Sulla is changing that up. And he's saying, hey, if you don't practice with some energy, I'm going to let you know about it and you need to pick it up. That's how you win in this league. And again, he came from a winning organization there with the Niners. They put things together. And he's coming here and he's changing what we're doing here. So, I'm just excited about Robert Sulla. And I was so fired up to hear that because that was huge to me. And again, what I'm saying? I really love what he's brought here, and I'm excited going forward with him. Even, again, salutes to all the savages in the chat. NY Jets FL says LaFleur has a lot more pieces to work with this year. Yes, he does. He does. He has a lot more pieces to work with this year. A lot more pieces. And one of the biggest pieces of this offense that I think is really going to continue going forward and getting better is Zach Wilson. We've seen Zach Wilson, really step up his play as well as we continue to go through camp. This was a guy that kind of was up and down a little bit. They were talking about a lot of things that he was going through out there, some struggles a little bit early. But as we continue to go through camp, right? And again, this is training camp. You're still putting things together. As we continue to go through camp, we saw him start to really pick things up. Now, of course, the offense was moving, throughout. He was definitely making some nice throws and putting the ball in the hands of guys, but it was the red zone where we would stall. And I think a lot of people look at that and they go, why would you stall in the red zone if the offense is just moving? Well, when you get into the red zone, that's shortening the field, right? There's a lot of things going on that are going on a lot faster than they normally would if you were trying to drive down the field from the 50. There's a lot less space. Bodies are compacted within there. So there are a lot of things going on. Guess what? As we continue forward, we started to see Zach Wilson started to really get things going, figure things out, and things started to work out in the red zone. He had a very good practice in the red zone, threw some nice TDs. We saw him hit Corey Davis, who's playing very well in camp. We'll get into that in a second. Garrett Wilson, he's hitting a lot of guys. He made this throw, all right, recently to Elijah Moore. It was a bomb down the field. Let me tell you something. This guy has an arm on him. He rolled out, launched it down the field, and was able to connect with Elijah Moore for a long bomb, right? And let me tell you something. That is good to see. That, to me, is really making me excited about the future of the New York Jets and what we're doing here. Because that connection between Elijah Moore and Zach Wilson, that's the thing that we're looking at to continue for years to come. So I really like the way that Zach has continued to battle. Again, he's grinding through camp. He's figuring things out. He's still learning. He's preparing himself the best way that he can, right? We've seen him physically prepare himself. He hit the weights. He's mentally preparing himself. Now he's working through camp, getting back into the grind of things. And he's also building, again, chemistry with all the guys once again. We've also continued forward, Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, for those of you that don't know, moved to that right side. He's now right tackle. This happened, way after our last show. Becton has been moved to the right tackle spot. There was no competition. We all know, the coaches sat down and said, hey, we're not going to have any competition. We're going to keep Fant at left tackle. We're going to put Mekhi Becton at right tackle. We don't want these guys switching positions throughout the offseason. We're just going to set it and leave it where it is, right? Now, Mekhi, as we've continued forward, we've seen him. He's looked good. Now, again, he's getting himself back in football shape. There's a lot of people that was on his back, okay, constantly. We saw him kind of labor through some practices. Of course, he's still pushing himself, but he would look tired, but he would complete all the drills. He would do all his reps and everything. There was a video recently of him throwing up on the sidelines a little bit. And Sulla even has come out and talked about that. He's told Mekhi, hey, push yourself to the point, or put yourself past the point of exhaustion. Give it everything that you got, because when your body recovers, you'll be better off for it, right? And that's what we're seeing Mekhi Becton do. And I think a lot of people are on Mekhi Becton's back simply because he's doing that. Listen, the only way to get in football shape is to, play football, right? That's what you got to do. You got to go out there and play football, okay? So that's what he's doing. This guy hasn't been in practice. He hasn't been on a field in a year or something. This guy had a big knee injury. He was dealing with all of that stuff. So now he's back on the field and he's putting things together. He's going to be tired. But again, the play that we're seeing out there from him is phenomenal, even on that right side. And now with him and AVT on that right side, let me tell you something, man. I feel bad for the defenses that we're going to face this year, because they're going to get mauled. That right side is going to be unbelievable. AVT, who we've seen just absolutely maul people throughout last season, is going to be mauling people this season too. Great young guard, can go out there and do everything that you ask of a guard. So I'm excited about what the New York Jets have up front, especially on that right side. I think we're going to be running the ball very effectively over that side. Again, Fant is finally out there as well. He was dealing with the injury a little bit. but now he's out there, going through drills and doing his thing. But I'll tell you what, as much as I love this New York Jets starting offensive line, I'm a little concerned about some backups, okay? I'm a little concerned now. Connor McDermott is awful. Oh my goodness. Connor McDermott is so bad, man. He is bad. I'll tell you. He's awful, dude. Oh. We've seen him get beat left and right. We've seen him give up sacks. We've got to clean that up. He's got to clean it up. He's got to clean up his play because so far he has not looked very good. I will say that. It has been a very up and down from Connor McDermott. So I'm a little concerned about that backup O-line. We saw it get chewed up. But again, hopefully these guys kind of step up their play. And if we do need them throughout the season, hopefully it's just little spurts here and there and everything will gel correctly. But I'm really loving what the New York Jets have up front, offensive line. There's been guys that have come out and talked about it. Guys on the defense have come out and talked about how they think this offensive line could be one of the best in the league. AVT also came out and talked about how he believes, especially with Becton being back in the fold, being good to go, that they're going to be one of the top offensive lines. And I think that that's going to be huge for us this year. And it's going to be huge for us because not only are we talking about properly protecting Zach Wilson, which is common sense, right? You want to make sure that your young franchise quarterback is able to go out there, throw the football effectively, not have happy feet, not get injured, and not have to worry about getting his head taken off. But I think one of the bigger things that a great offensive, very good, man. I'm excited about our wide receiver situation. You look at how Garrett Wilson has been playing. A lot of people are excited about him. Man, he's been looking really good. He's really been able to go out there, handle business. Some of the catches that he's making, some of the things that he's able to do out there has been phenomenal too. I really like what that young guy's bringing to the table. Really like how he's been looking out there. Elijah Moore has looked phenomenal too. So things are really looking up for the New York Jets wide receiver core. And not just that either. We got guys like Corey Davis. Listen, Corey Davis was dealing with the injury last season and has come back and looking like, hey, this is going to be his comeback season. This guy's really going to be able to step up and play extremely well. And again, he's a guy that we fed last season tremendously. He was a guy that we constantly were feeding. Zach Wilson was constantly feeding him. Constantly. So he's a guy, again, that I think Zach is going to be able to target, and again, this upcoming season and be able to depend on. But a guy that really has stepped up too, that really had a lot of fire under him, Denzel Mims. Denzel Mims has really put something together. He's been very, very good this training camp so far. And again, we're just a couple days in, but I'm excited about what he's bringing to the table. He's made a lot of big catches, a lot of tough catches. We've seen a lot of flashes from him, whether it be from Flacco, whether it be from White. He's out there doing his thing. And then when he's talked to about his performance and what his expectations are this upcoming season, he's talked about, hey, look, I'm aiming for the top spot. And they said, the top spot? What do you mean? He said, look, I want to be the starting wide receiver. Can you imagine what things will look like if Denzel Mims turns out to be the guy that we all know he can be within this offense? Bringing everything that he brings to the table. Can you imagine what the Jets offense will look like from a receiving standpoint? It's going to be insane. You're going to have Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, of course, Braxton Berrios, who we saw last season. That was phenomenal, right? Then you add Denzel Mims to that mix. How do you cover that? How do you cover that? Is there any possible way to cover that? You know what I'm saying? How do you do it? I don't know how any defense could possibly do that. How could you cover that? How long could you possibly cover that for? You know? So that's going to be crazy as well to continue to see. Again, camp continues on and Mims has looked good. Rashad Davis has looked good as well, a guy that we got that Joe Douglas was able to bring in. He's a guy that could push to make the roster spot as well because let me tell you something, Rashad Davis is a guy that is a burner. We've seen in camp when you put the ball in his hands, this guy can take off, like end arounds, all kinds of stuff. But he's also a guy that can give us a little bit as a returner as well. So that's something that might push him into making a spot on this roster. I could see that. So Rashad Davis is also a name to look out for. The tight end Irving as well is also making plays too. So we'll see where he stands in that situation. But I'm telling you, I really like what the New York Jets wide receiver core is looking like. I really do. I'm excited about it because for years, we haven't had enough weapons to give our young quarterback. We haven't had enough. Sam dealt with that stuff where there just wasn't enough weapons out there at wide receiver. There wasn't enough weapons out there for him to throw to. And now it's just like things are flourishing there. He has so many guys that he can get the football to effectively. And I really want to see, how Mike LaFleur is going to handle that situation. What is he going to do there? Like, how are we going to get these guys the football? Especially again with this offense and the way that it's predicated, man, listen, it's all about getting the ball to guys in space. We saw Elijah Moore really, as the season went on, really continue to come on last season. He was a great playmaker, a great playmaker. And again, this wide receiver core was dealing with a lot of injuries last season too. And things was kind of broken up. So now, again, hopefully we all get into the season healthy, okay? We all get into the season healthy, boy. I'm telling you, these people that's defending the New York Jets is going to have some problems. Going to have some real problems. And that's why, again, I was against everybody talking about, hey, you should trade that guy, trade this guy. And I'm like, hey, listen, last season we were beaten up with injuries. If a guy can show you that he has some ability, I've gone back and forth with some Jets fans just recently talking about, hey, if Denzel Mims is flashing, let's go ahead and get rid of him. And I'm like, whoa, why? If he's flashing and he's doing his thing and he's showing that, hey, he can be one of these guys in this wide receiver core that can go out there and give us some real good looks, then guess what? Why don't you keep him on this roster, right? He's cheap. He's not gonna break your bank. He's not gonna cost you $1 million. Keep him on this roster and allow this guy to go out there and make plays. Especially, again, you never know. Maybe a guy goes down. Knock on wood. We hope that doesn't happen. But maybe a guy goes down. Then what do you do? So really like what the Jets wide receiver core is looking like, man. It's going to be interesting going forward. A lot of good battles there. A lot of guys pushing. But I tell you what, Denzel Mims is a guy that I'm really pulling for. He's a guy that has a lot of natural ability. And just hearing him up on that podium talk about, that is my goal. I want to be the top wide receiver. I'm pushing towards that. It's just good to see. I'm telling you, this is a guy that a lot of fans, a lot of people in the media just kind of left for dead. They wrote him off. So it is what it is there. Then you continue on, man. You look at the Jets' defensive side of the ball. Let me tell you something. This guy, Carl Lawson, is a monster, man. He's a monster. It's a monster. Man, this dude, Carl Lawson, is a beast, bro. I don't know what else to say. He's a complete beast, okay? Complete beast. Just comes off of an injury, right? He was gone for the whole year. Said, hey, I'm going to be ready for training camp. I'm going to be ready to go, right? We were all saying, okay, well, hopefully everything's good to go. Hopefully, man, he's out there just destroying people. Today in practice, he had at least 2 sacks. Again, they can't hit the quarterback. Let's all be clear. They can't hit the quarterback. But, there would have been at least 2 sacks. He's constantly talked about as pressuring, getting pressure on the quarterback, pushing the offensive line, pushing all these things. He is constantly being talked about as a guy that is in the scrum, making the push and providing pressure on Zach Wilson. He's in his face constantly. It's insane. This guy came off of a big injury, and according to everything that we're seeing so far, he looks like the guy that we signed. Like nothing's wrong here. Man, I am so fired up about Carl Lawson and what he's bringing to the table. And again, this was a guy that when he's spoken to, you really hear his mindset and why he's been able to excel even after that injury. Because he was a guy that talked about, hey, listen, it sucked going through the process to get better. It sucked going through the rehab process. It was awful. I didn't like it. But guess what? Every great person in history has suffered. All of them. At some point, they have suffered. But the great people that decided to overcome that suffering and continue on, that's who saw massive success. And so when you have that mindset that I'm just going to continue to overcome, and he said that, I'm going to continue to overcome. I'm going to continue to push forward. Man, that's how he's gotten to where he's gotten. So Carl Lawson, man, has been looking phenomenal, looking amazing in camp so far. Amazing. Jermaine Johnson has also looked good too, which is huge as well, because this is a young kid that we're hoping to get quite a bit out of. A kid that a lot of people are excited about. I was excited about coming in his first year. Again, he's a rookie. And when you look at this situation now, if he's a guy, and again, I'm not putting a lot on Jermaine Johnson. I know there's people talking about, sacks in the teens. I'm not saying that. Not in his first year. I'm not going to put that on the kid. It's going to take some time. And I completely understand that. But if he can give us some pressures and maybe give me 6, 7, maybe 8 sacks, I'm good with that. But even if he can give me some pressure, some disruption, cause some issues up front for people, that's what I want to see. And I think that this is one of the first times as a Jet fan that I think the New York Jets, or this is the first time in a long time that I've been a Jet fan. Because back in the day, again, we had we had Sean Ellis, we had John Abraham, but that was back in the day. That was a long time ago, baby. All right. But it's been a long time before we've had a guy or 2 guys, again, because we got Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson, 2 guys that we believe, hey, is going to be able to get to the passer effectively. And we don't have to send exotic blitzes and all this other stuff, right? We don't have to do all that. That is going to be huge for the New York Jets defense. The biggest issue that the Jets have had for years, and we saw it last year, was the lack of pressure defensively. When you can't get any pressure defensively and guys can just run at will, they can do whatever they want to do. The quarterback has 30 years back there to throw the football, then, good luck to you. Good luck to you stopping them from passing. That was the biggest issue we had last year. Quarterbacks would sit back there for 30 minutes. We didn't have a pass rusher because there was no Carl Lawson, and we were just lost in the sauce there. We were lost. Well, now we got 2 guys that we can send at you, 2 guys that we can bring at you, and I think that that's gonna completely change the way that the New York Jets defense is looked at. Gonna completely change it, because now you have a couple seconds. You got to get the ball out of your hands, and you give most quarterbacks very few time back there. They're going to make a mistake. I think we'll see an uptick in turnovers, which we need greatly. Right? Let's get the ball back in the hands of our offense. I think we'll see a uptick in turnovers because of the pressure, and it's going to help everything out. It's going to help our secondary out. Guys aren't going to have to cover for that long. Not when Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson, and again, we got other guys as well. A lot of talk from Sheldon Rankins too, man. Sheldon Rankins has been doing his thing out there. He's talked about how the New York Jets, defense feels like it could be a top defense in the league. At least that's what he's pushing for, which is huge. You want to hear that out of your players, that they're pushing to give everything that they're best. We got Quinnen Williams as well that we're looking to take a step forward to. So when you look at all these things, man, with the pressure that's provided, even the pressure that Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson are going to be able to provide are also going to benefit guys like Quinnen Williams and Sheldon Rankins. Especially a guy like Quinnen Williams, who now you can't just double team anymore and shut him down. You can't do that, because you got to pick your poison. Okay, you want to double Quinnen Williams? All right, well, then Jermaine and Carl Lawson is about to have a day. You just want to ignore the edge pressure? Okay, feel free. Well, your quarterback is going to have a long night. He's going to get destroyed. So I think what we'll see this upcoming season is a lot of one-on-one matchups for Quinnen Williams, where he's just going to feast, and he's going to have a big day. He's going to be in people's backfields. He's going to be a disruptor in the run game, which is what we need greatly, because New York Jets were awful against the run last year. They were terrible. One of the worst teams against the run last season defensively. Terrible. I think we were near the bottom of the league. I think we were like 29th or something like that. Maybe 30th. I think we were 29th. We were terrible. We got ran on by so many people. It was atrocious. Well, I think all that stops, again, with the pressure that we have. And not only the pressure that they're going to be able to provide, because, again, these guys can also defend against the run pretty well. But now it's going to free up Quinnen Williams to really be that disruptive, defensive tackle that we need him to be. So that pass rush is going to be huge. And again, we're hearing a lot of great things from Jermaine Johnson. He's looking good out there during camp. Now, as we continue down, let me tell you something. This competition at cornerback is pretty big as well. It's big too. Really big. This guy Sauce is putting some pressure. I'm not going to lie. He's putting some pressure on Bryce Hall. And, depending on who you listen to, depending on who's looking at it, there's a lot of talk about Bryce Hall. He's holding his own. He's doing his thing. He's had some interceptions to be able to make some plays. But Sauce is definitely out there handling business. His wingspan is crazy. This guy's defending people very well. Very, very well. So him and Sauce is definitely having that competition. Again, Bryce Hall and Sauce are, rotating throughout that first team defense. And they're handling business. But I'm telling you, that cornerback situation is heating up. It's heating up. And I've already told people before, again, I'm a big Bryce Hall fan. I am about, competition at every position. So whoever wins, wins. I'm just going to say that. But I will say this, that, Bryce Hall is not just going to give up that spot. He's not. He's going to push. But Sauce, from everything we're seeing, man, he's making his push to be the number one corner for the New York Jets. DJ Reed is looking phenomenal out there as well. Continue to talk about the plays that he's making. A lot of things that he's able to do out there. So this secondary is looking solid. Salutes to Niger with the big donation, man. I said salute to Niger with the big donation, man. I want to thank Niger for giving to the program. Niger says multiple Super Bowls and a new stadium. Hopefully. All right. Hopefully we do that. I'm not, putting too much. I know a lot of people are talking, that this is a season that the New York Jets should look, to be in the playoffs. We've got a lot of talent. We got a lot of things going on. Okay. But I'm going to hold off on the Super Bowl talk until I see us. But Niger, I'm there, man. I'm excited. I think that we're on our way to competing. We're on our way to being there. But we just got to wait and see what's going on. But, man, I'm right there with you, Niger. I definitely want to see that. I want to see us win that trophy. I want to see us raise that at the end of the day. And again, Niger, thank you for giving to the platform with the big donation, man. Yeah. And a new stadium is something we absolutely need. I've talked to people about this. I don't want to go on a rant, but I'm going to listen. I need the Jets to get a new stadium. Okay. I've gone back and forth with people. I'll get back to the camp talk in a second. Oh my goodness. Listen. Okay. We need a new stadium. And I don't know if we're going to get it soon or what deal we can work out with. I know that the stadium in Manhattan, that kind of fell apart. All right. I get that. Okay. But I want to go to a stadium that feels like it's our stadium. Okay. When I go to MetLife, and I love the Jets, and I love, I know that they're putting things together and going forward, but I feel like when we go to MetLife, or when I go to MetLife a lot of times, I don't feel like it's our stadium. I feel like we're going to a place, and, often when I go there and I watch games, I'm surrounded by fans of other teams that I literally fill the stadium. I was there when we were playing the Cleveland Browns one year, and I felt like I was in the dog pound. That entire place was filled with Browns fans. It was crazy. I looked to my left, there was a Browns jersey. I looked to my right, there's a Browns jersey. I mean, Jets fans were few and far in between there. It was crazy. So I'm hoping that they can change some things. And I'm really big on that. I feel that the New York Jets brass could do a little bit more to reach out to the fan base, do a little bit more. And I've talked about this before, but I'm really hoping that changes. And hopefully in the future, we will see that. But salutes to you again, Niger, for giving to the platform. I don't want to go on a long rant about how much I want to see the New York Jets get a new stadium, but that is something that I want to see at some point, right? Now, getting back to training camp, man, listen. There's been so much going on, so many things moving and shaking. Again, we're talking about the secondary, but let me tell you something. This linebacking core has stepped up as well. For those of you that don't know, we signed Quan Alexander to a 1-year deal. And, man, what a difference this moves make. This is a guy that I constantly was talking about wanting to see become a New York Jet. This is a guy that I wanted to see on the roster. I've been talking about him all offseason, having discussions constantly back and forth about how much I think that, he would benefit our linebacking core, and how much, our linebacking core looked weak, especially when you look at that weak side linebacker position spot, which we all kind of looked at and said Hamza Nasruddin or Jamin Sherwood, one of those guys are going to be competing for that spot. Well, when you look at the situation now, Kwon Alexander comes in, we sign him, and we see immediate impact during practice at camp. He's going out there, he's hitting. I'm talking big hits. He's going out there and really laying into guys. So I'm excited, man, for this guy. He understands the scheme. He doesn't have to be, taught too much. This guy gets it. He's worked with Sulla in the past as well, the time with the Niners. He just gets it, and he's a veteran guy that can come in and really give us some solid quality snaps. So this signing of Kwon Alexander was a good move. And again, JD just continues to do work, man. He continues to do work. He continues to do the best that he could do to better this football team. So I'm excited about this move, man. And again, when you hear from him, just like you hear from a lot of other people, or other players that have signed with us as well, one of the things he said, he wanted to be a Jet. He loved what we're doing here. He likes what we're building. He likes what we're bringing to the table. So, listen, signing Kwon Alexander was a good move, man. It was a really good move, and I'm excited about him. And our linebacking core, honestly, in my opinion, has been shored up. And this gives Hamza Nasruddin and Jamin Sherwood, time where they don't have to be the guy right off the bat, at weak side. Let Kwon kind of start there. Again, they're going to be in the rotation. They're going to do their thing. But they have the time to kind of sit back and regain that time that they missed in their rookie year to really get going. Because, again, both of those guys had big injuries. So I really like us bringing Kwon into the fold as well. Again, rookie Jeremy Ruckert as well is off the NFI list. Again, he was dealing with that foot plantar fasciitis injury. So he's off that. So, he was out there doing his thing in team drills, which I'm excited about as well. Our tight end position is looking really good with CJ. Tyler Conklin. Listen, this guy Tyler Conklin's real smooth. He's real smooth, baby. You know what I'm saying? He's looking good out there as well. And the impact of this tight end position could be pretty big on us. Could be pretty big on us going into this year. Again, the New York Jets have not had, anything really at tight end for years. Since Dustin Keller. We haven't really had a threat at tight end. And now we got two guys in Tyler Conklin. Honestly, three guys. Tyler Conklin, CJ, and, Jeremy Ruckert, who's one of the better, tight ends in this recent class, that are really going to be able to go out there and positively impact the New York Jets offense, right? When you look at the situation as well, I think that helps us again. The running game, when you look at some of the moves that JD has made, these are moves that impact the running game. Why? Because CJ and Tyler Conklin, these guys can run block pretty solidly, but then they're also threats as well. So now when we put them out there on the field, right? When we put them out there on the field, then you're going to have to account for them. So we pull into a play action. You can't just fall asleep, because if you do, guess what? CJ or Conklin, they'll have a day on you. So now when we come into these big sets, you're going to have to account for us defensively. It's not just going to be pretty transparent what we're doing. Oh, well, they got two tight ends out there. In the past, it was like, hey, Jets got two tight ends out there. Oh, yeah, they're going to run the ball. They're not passing it to whatever tight ends out there. Come on, let's be serious. These guys aren't receiving threats. Or they're slow as dirt. He's not going to go nowhere. No, that's not happening anymore. You fall asleep on CJ. You fall asleep on Tyler. It's going to go for some yards. And they're going to be pretty tough to bring down, especially CJ. CJ, after the catch, is unbelievable. Again, Tyler's smooth too. But then you add Jeremy Ruckert into the fold, and that really brings something into it as well. I just talked about the impact in the running game that the tight ends can have. But guess what? Jeremy Ruckert is one of the better run blocking tight ends in the class. That's what put him over a lot of these guys. So now he's a legit receiving threat. He's also a guy that can solidly run block. Let me tell you something, man. That's big. Salutes to my guy Ant Jet as well. Savage in the chat. Ant Jet says, excellent point, Joe, about Nasruddin and Sherwood. There are playmakers that just need more time. Yeah, they're just young guys. Salute to you as well, Ant. They're young guys, And again, when we looked at that linebacker position, that weak side linebacker position, we were all saying, hey, man, what are we going to do here? There's a lot of question marks, a lot of things that we didn't really understand how things were going to play out there. We were all concerned about this linebacker position. Again, CJ Mosley, we love him. Phenomenal, right? Great inside linebacker. We don't know what the future is going to hold. Again, he's getting up in age. He's costing a lot. Quincy Williams on the other side, he looks good. But then everybody was looking like, man, what are we going to do at weak side linebacker? What are we going to do on that other side of CJ Mosley? So many questions. But then you answer that with Quan Alexander, a solid, sufficient veteran that's going to be able to come in, play solid ball for you. Of course, your young guys are still going to be in the rotation. They're still, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to get from them because they're coming back from those injuries. That's big, man. That is big. So as we continue forward, I like what we've done there at linebacker. I like how we've handled situations there. So things are looking good. But I'm telling you, again, getting back to this tight end situation, is looking good as well. It's looking really good. Because let me tell you something. Now the New York Jets, when we get into the red zone, I think we become even more deadly because the playbook opens up even more when you look at our tight end situation. When you look at what the Patriots were able to, and we can't stand the Patriots. None of us can. They've dominated our division for a long time. We don't like the coach. I don't even like talking about those guys, man. We really don't like those guys much at all. We really don't like them. You know what I'm saying? They're just whatever. They're just, yeah, you've won a lot. Yeah, I respect it, but come on. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? What did we see the Patriots do consistently? We saw the Patriots be able to put out tight end after tight end after tight end and dominate the league using 2 tight ends constantly. Sometimes even more. I've seen them put 3 tight ends out there on the field before. And they would do a lot of that stuff in the red zone, right? Because it creates matchup nightmares. Because these are big guys. A lot of the times you can go out there and just play basketball. Hey, I'm just going to throw it up and you go up and get it. And that's something that we can do now because we have those threats. Now, when we look at the situation with CJ, we can put CJ out there. We could put, Tyler out there. We can put Jeremy Ruckert out there. And we can go, okay, let's just play basketball. Hey, you go here, you run a fade. You just run to the front of the end zone, turn your back on him, box him out, and I'll just throw it up to you. You just go get it after you box him out. That's so crazy coming from where we were last season. We were struggling offensively. We were struggling at times. We couldn't figure things out. We couldn't get things going consistently. We weren't getting as much out of the tight end position as we hoped. Now things are completely different. And again, that opens up so many different looks for our play calling, so many different looks, that we're going to give defenses. They're going to have their hands full with us. And I think that a lot of the weapons that we've added offensively are really going to help kind of overcome those slow starts that we had last season. Anybody remember those? Those were terrible, man. Those were awful. Oh, those slow starts just over and over again. Not being able to score in the first quarter early in the season. Just kind of sleepwalking. The offense not being able to put things together. I mean, do you guys remember when we just couldn't, we didn't even have a touchdown, I think, for the first however many games of the season until Mike White played. We didn't have a touchdown in the first quarter. That was terrible, man. That was awful. You know what I'm saying? That was awful. But things got cleaned up as we continued to go forward throughout the season, and things started to look a lot better, especially again with the starts not being as slow as they were. But with all the playmakers that we've added, right? We look at our wide receiver position. We look at, what we've been able to do at tight end. Let me tell you something. It's going to be huge. Because now when the pressure is coming to Zach as well, when you look at the tight ends, that could be the relief valve where he just dumps it off. Hey, look, this is guy kind of barreling down on me. Let me dump this off to CJ. CJ, you go ahead and go make your plays. Again, we saw that happen last season as well. So just tight end position is going to be something serious. And I think it's going to have quite an impact on the offense. Another position I think that's going to have quite an impact on the offense is the New York Jets running back situation. Listen, in camp, Breece Hall, has been looking very good. This guy's been moving and shaking. And there's a lot of people talking about him, and the ability that he has. Again, we saw a really nice run today from Zaytoven Knight. Zaytoven Knight has been looking good. But let me tell you something. Breece Hall, and we'll get to the lines in a second. I apologize, everybody. We'll get to the lines in a second. 908, I'll get to you in a second. Let me tell you something. Breece Hall is looking good, man. He's looking good. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on my boy, Michael Carter. All right? My boy, Michael Carter, is something else. All right? This is a guy that I'm telling you, you get him in space with the football, he is a complete nightmare. A complete nightmare. And what we saw last season, his playmaking ability, how he can handle things, right? There was a portion of last season where he was carrying the New York Jets offensively. He was our only playmaker for a little bit. Before Elijah Moore got going, before, things kind of was, before that concussion and all that stuff, let me tell you something. Michael Carter was that guy. Not only was he running the football, which was tough already last season because our offensive line couldn't open up any holes, right? But he was coming out of the backfield and catching the football. You go back and you watch that Bengals game. I think that's one of the biggest highlights for him during the season as far as just a game. You go back and you watch that game. Let me tell you something. He's the main reason why we run that game. The main reason why we won. I think he had 77 yards rushing, 95, and he also had a touchdown rushing as well, 95 yards receiving. He was catching the football. Jack was just dumping it off to him, and he would go get the yards, move the chains constantly. You look at that game as well. There was time when you hand the football off to him, and he's running away from guys. And let me tell you something. Michael Carter is still that dude. I love Breece. I can't wait to see what he's going to be able to put out there, but I feel like a lot of people discount Michael Carter and some of the things that he brings to the table. And especially with that 1-2 punch this upcoming season, man, that's going to really help the New York Jets offense out. It really, really is. So let me get to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Oh, before we get to these lines, listen, the Dolphins are always gonna dolphin, okay? Really quickly, the Miami Dolphins have been stripped of their 2023 first round pick. Why? Because they have violated the league policies relating to the integrity of the game. There was a 6-month investigation on them, and the league found that the Dolphins, their owner, Stephen Ross, and, Bruce Beal as well, the limited partner, they violated the anti-tampering policy on 3 occasions between 2019 and 2022. They had some, conversations with Tom Brady, and also had some conversations with Sean Payton as well, trying to bring them into the organization. Didn't work out because neither one of them are dealing with the organization. So that was found. They've been hit. They've been stripped of their 2023 first round pick. And Stephen Ross was fined as well. $1.5 million. He was suspended through October 17th. He's not even allowed to be at the Dolphins facility or represent the team at any event during that time. He also can't attend any league meeting, before the annual meeting in 2023. Beal, on the other hand, was fined $500,000 and isn't permitted to attend any league meetings for the rest of the 2022 season. Dolphins are gonna dolphin. That's all I'm gonna say. It's tough, man. Don't cheat. So we're gonna get to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're talking training camp. We're talking Zach Wilson. We're talking New York Jets, man. We're excited about this football team and everything that they're doing. Lines are open. We'll get to everyone. Please be patient. I know I went on quite a tirade there, but I'm excited about this Jets football team. So first caller we're going to get to, it's my guy Steve, man. Steve, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling into my show. Listen, Steve, give me your thoughts about Zach Wilson, man. There's been a lot of talk about him being kind of up and down, but he's looked really good these last couple of practices, and he's really been able to put some things together in the red zone. How are you feeling about that, man?
Hey, Joe. Well, first of all, thank you again for having me on tonight. I actually just called on now. I'm actually really surprised that I'm actually the first caller tonight, but thank you so much for having me be the first caller.
Absolutely.
So anyway, good to hear from you as always. And so anyway, so in case if you're wondering, Joe, I actually went to Jets training camp last Saturday. Hello?
Yeah, you're breaking up, Steve. Go ahead.
Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you that I went to Jets training camp last Saturday. Hello?
Yeah, Steve, you're breaking up bad. What's going on with your phone?
Come on.
You got some good phones?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Hang on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Steve. Come on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Give us your take,
So,
man.
Joe, as I was saying,
Uh-huh.
last Saturday, I went to Jets training camp.
Oh, man.
Oh, come on.
Steve is having some phone. We'll get back to you in a second, Steve. We'll just put you on hold. We're gonna get back to these lines, man. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, please. When you call in, be patient. Okay, we're gonna get to everybody. Also, give the stream a thumbs up wherever you're watching me from. Share the stream across your social media, and please, when you call in, don't call me from a Sesame Street phone. You know what I'm saying? Can you get a good phone when you call in? Come on. All right. Come on. You know what I mean? Please, don't call me from the back of a PlayStation. All right? Come on. Call me from a good phone. Jeez, I want to hear you. I want to hear your takes. All right? We're going to keep getting to these lines. Give 515-602-9639. Call me from the back of a Doritos bag. Come on. So next we're going to go to my guy, Colin. Colin, we're coming directly to you. Colin salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Colin, can you hear me? Are you good, man? Can you hear me? Is everything good?
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
Hey, Joe. Good night. I hope I'm good.
You're good. Give me
I hope I'm loud and clear.
You are. You didn't call in from the bottom of a Pringles can. Can you please give me your thoughts about Zach Wilson and how he's looked in camp so far?
I mean, listen, he had a little up and down, at times, but that's expected, right? He's in his second year. He's still developing. Still needed a lot of developing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think where he can make the jump in the second year is by avoiding mistakes.
Yeah.
Try to eliminate the mistakes, right? Because the talent is there, right? We all know the talent is there. He's put on some size, he's bulked up. He can run. We all know he can run, and we all know he can throw the ball. It's just going to come down now to, be smart with the football. Don't force. Don't try to force anything.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. The New York media, obviously, the pressure in New York is much different than you playing in Jacksonville or something. So you can't let the pressure get to him. He has a lot of weapons, man. I'm telling you. I think he has more weapons than any other quarterback in a very long time, right? So he's got plenty of weapons to look for to get rid of the ball. Just don't do some of the things I saw last year, which is just completely throwing the ball in front of guys in the ground. Missing guys or rushing passes, just take, he's just got to take his time and listen, if you got to get sacked, you get sacked, or you got to throw the ball away, throw the ball away. But the last thing I think any Jets fan want to see is Zach Wilson out there throwing interceptions, or look like he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the key for him. He doesn't have to go there and throw 30 touchdowns or 4,000 yards, like people are expecting. He just has to manage the game and help us win games.
Yeah.
Right. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And I hear what you're saying. I think again, like you said, kind of minimizing the mistakes is huge for him, especially, in a scheme that we're running. I think one of the things that's really going to help him kind of cut down some of the mistakes that we saw last season was, our running game really developing and getting better. And I want to ask you about this. When you look at the situation where our running game, do you think there's a lot of people that are kind of discounting the impact that Michael Carter could have because, us taking Breece Hall? Because there's a lot of people that are already saying, hey, Breece is going to be the starter. Michael, Carter can be number 2, whatever. Do you think that a lot of people are just kind of overlooking what Carter will be able to do in this offense with, an upgraded offensive line, in sync of just saying, hey, Breece Hall is going to be the guy?
Yeah, I think, the fact that Breece Hall was the number 1 running back drafted,
mm-hmm.
the expectations are much higher than it was for Michael Carter, right? So I think, everyone is pumped. We got, the best running back in the draft, potentially, right? Yeah. So, you want to see the best running back in the draft being the best running back on your team as well. So I think that's where the excitement is that, hey, we didn't just trade up for this guy and, for him to be like the number 2 guy. He's the number 1 running back coming out of college. So,
mm-hmm.
At least in, the Jets' opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think in all fairness, we want to see this guy be the number 1 guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael Carter, he's good as well. So for me personally, I didn't understand some of the picks. I understand like the value of the player, but I didn't really like understand the picks because it's the same thing with the wide receiver, right? We drafted Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson and 10.
We had Elijah Moore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but with the receiver, the same thing. I was, I understand picking the guy, but at the same time, I was like, look at Elijah Moore, right? What he's doing in camp,
mm-hmm.
right? He's definitely going to be the number 1 receiver on the team.
Man, he's lighting it up.
In my opinion, but in my opinion, when you draft a receiver on the 10th pick overall, that guy should be your number 1 pick, considering that Elijah Moore was not a top 10 pick. Last year.
But here's the thing. It's not, and I hear you, Colin, but it's not really about like as far as it's about production, right? It's about what you can bring to the table. And Elijah Moore wasn't a top, he wasn't taken in the first round, but we can see that clearly there's, if they could redo the draft, somebody would have took him in the first round. But when you have this guy step in the way that he did, and we see the playmaking ability of Elijah Moore, he is special, and he's going to be special this upcoming season. We're already seeing it in camp. We're seeing the connection with Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore flourish, right? He just caught a big bomb from Zach these last a couple practices ago or a day ago or something like that, where it was phenomenal. So I think that, being a second round or third round or whatever, listen, there's guys that have gotten picked in the second round, the third round or whatever that go on to just be unbelievable. So I think that the addition of Garrett Wilson, was needed from, the looks of JD is because, hey, we needed another weapon, and we did. We needed another guy. When you look at, the way that our wide receiver core kind of shook out last year, Corey Davis went down with an injury. We saw some flashes from Elijah Moore. There was questions about Denzel Mims. He wasn't seen on the field at all. Braxton Berrios was a guy that was out there, but Braxton Berrios isn't a number 1 or 2 wide receiver, right? So when you look at these situations, you want to give your young quarterback, Zach Wilson, right, the guy that he took, you want to give him as many weapons as possible. So I liked us picking up Garrett. Again, I didn't initially wanted to see us pass on Jermaine Johnson, but we ended up with him too. So I love that move, and I think that Garrett coming in, I think is going to be good. And that's going to be my next question for you when we talk about this wide receiver core. Another guy that's looked really good, man, is Corey Davis. Corey Davis has been going out there and making play after play after play. Do you think that this is a comeback season for Corey Davis, and what are your expectations for him?
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So, listen, we all know Corey Davis is a big receiver. He's talented, right? We know what he was doing in Tennessee, and we know what he can still do. So that's my point. We have Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios, still have Denzel Mims. There's still a ton of people believe in Mims.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still have some other guys on the depth chart. So, my whole point is that, when you go out and you get a Garrett Wilson on the 10th pick, in my opinion, when you pick in a player that high, that guy in your mind has to be the number one guy on that team in that position, because you're just drafting him so high. If you were drafting a guy to be like the second receiver, right, or the third receiver, you could get that guy in the second round. But the fact, you're picking this guy on the 10th pick, it's to me is that this guy has to become the number one receiver. He may not become the number one receiver this year, but he has to become the number one receiver, because what's the point of picking him so early? When there's other guys you could have picked that maybe could have filled a number one role. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think down the line he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to be able to go out there. I mean, we might see him move within that role, but again, he's a young guy, and like I said, I'm excited about him. About what he can bring to the table, and we're already seeing stuff out of Garrett Wilson that is crazy. I mean, this guy's making freakish catches. He can get off really, really well. We see the speed. We see everything. Like this guy's going to be something, but again, he's a young kid. We still got to
he has the
fill
talent.
things out. Yeah, he has a talent. It's off the charts.
Definitely. Yeah,
it's off the
charts. He has the talent. Yeah. I mean, this team has talent. This team has talent that they haven't had in a long time. So, like I said, there's a lot of talent. How we use these talents, and also, our head coach, offensive coordinator, all these guys, right? These guys are going into the second year now.
Yep.
It's going to be curious to see how well these guys develop. How much did they learn in their first year and avoid some of the mistakes in the second year. Like I've seen some plays last year on fourth down, like 4th and inches, 4th and 1, and it was just so obvious what we were going to do with the football, and teams just knew exactly what we were going to do with the football.
Yep.
Yep. So that those are the things that is going to make or break you as a coach too. So
but
they got to do a better job, right?
Yeah, here's the thing though, Colin. I think a lot of the issues that we saw last year offensively, right, like you said as well, was pretty transparent what we were going to do at times. I think a lot of it was because of a lack of talent. Right? When you look at our wide receiver core, and this is why I keep talking about this, and we just talked about Corey Davis, we talked about the addition of Garrett Wilson and all these things. Our wide receiver core did not play much together healthy. We were constantly missing guys last season, whether it was Jamison Crowder being out or Keelan Cole being out, or Corey Davis missed a big portion of the season. Elijah Moore was down for games at a time before, right? He was dealing with a quad injury. He had other injuries as well that sat him out. Like there were so many issues last season, so much mitch and match and scratch there at the wide receiver position. It was like, we had issues going there. You couldn't go to the tight end position for anything because we didn't have what we have now, right? We didn't have like a real crazy receiving threat there. So where else do you go? Your offensive line's not opening up holes, so you can't run the football effectively. We only had one single 100-yard rusher the entire year, and that was Michael Carter. I think it was against Jacksonville. That's it. Like there was nothing. So a lot of the times we had, and again, Zach is a rookie quarterback too, so he's learning, trying to put things together. We saw him getting blasted last season, right? So a lot of these things that we saw where people were like, well, the Jets are very transparent offensively. It's like, because we had a lot of guys go down. Becton was gone. Like I can continue with the names. And again, there wasn't enough talent at certain spots, not on the field consistently. So that's what you see out there. But one of the guys that I think is bouncing back as we talk about the wide receiver position, Denzel Mims is looking phenomenal, man. And I mean, this is a guy that's talking about he's gunning for that top wide receiver spot. What are your thoughts about what he's been able to do and the camp that he's been able to put together so far?
Well, I mean, when you look at him in college too, right? The guy is athletic. He's big and he's athletic. Whatever issues there were last year for him not getting on the field or, whatever, dark cloud was over his head, hopefully all that's cleared up, right? And he, he is showing it in camp that, hey, he's worthy of making the team.
Yep.
So yeah, listen, like I said, between Denzel Mims, Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, the two tight ends, Conklin, Uzama, Michael Carter, Breece Hall. I mean, the sky's the limit for this team.
Yeah.
It's just going to come down to Zach Wilson, right? Because he's the guy at the helm, right? And coaching.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to coaching and Zach Wilson. And if everyone is on the same page and everyone is clicking, we'll win 7-8 games. But if things don't go right, then we may not win 7 or 8 games this year. If we make mistakes, if mistakes are being made with coaching and quarterback and other players as well. So it's going to really come down to how quickly, when you make a mistake, you don't make the same mistake again. And the mistakes you made last year are mistakes you want to try to eliminate as best as possible this year, So, time management with the clock is so many things, but the talent-wise, this team's got a lot of talent, man.
Yeah.
They got talent on offense and defense. It's like unbelievable.
It's crazy, Colin. So my final question for you, Colin, because you've been giving us some great takes. I want to go over to the defensive side. What are your thoughts about Carl Lawson, man? This guy is just – it's insane that he's coming off this injury and he's just out there just – I mean, again, we can't hit the quarterback. We all know that in camp. He's got that red jersey on. But, dude, he's providing pressures and things that would be sacks at this point. He's constantly being talked about being in the backfield and getting after it. What are your thoughts about him just going out there and beasting the way that he's been beasting, man?
Listen, the guy is good. there's no doubt there. A healthy Carl Lawson on this team, a healthy defense, period. I'm telling you, man, teams are gonna have a hard time beating the Jets.
Yep.
They're gonna have some serious issues with this team this year.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, everyone is there's a lot of young players, but there's a lot of hungry players. And again, a guy like C.J. Mosley in that defense brings experience to a lot of these guys. So, I mean, and
K'Wan Alexander
free
too.
Agency, right? We pick up a lot of free agency.
Yep,
yeah.
K'Wan Alexander.
We got so many guys. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to keep all these guys. It's crazy. Yeah. Like the amount of people we have. Like we have a big issue, and that's we can't keep everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we'll yep. Colin, we'll see because there's a lot to do. But JD's going to make a way. But listen, Colin, I got to slide off. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, man. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
Yeah, take care, Joe.
All right. Listen, Colin calling in with some takes, man. I respect it. Listen, salutes to all the savages in the chat. Please give the stream a thumbs up if you haven't already. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Share the stream with your friends and your family and across your social media. You know what I'm saying? If you want to give to the stream, to the platform, the super chat's there. If you don't want to give to the super chat, Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Really appreciate it. Again, salutes to all the savages in the chat. My guy GVH salutes to you, Savage, in the chat. He says, Joe, there are those who think we are hyping Mims to trade him. You think we should do it? What would it take for you, I guess, to trade Denzel Mims? Here's the deal, man. I don't know. There's been a lot of talk amongst various people about trading Denzel Mims, and we'll get back to the lines in just a second. And I know that there was some people talking about trading him for like Tevin Jenkins, all kinds of stuff like that. Listen, if Denzel Mims continues to go out there and show you that he has number 1 or number 2 ability, I don't know why you would get rid of him. I don't know why you would. I mean, it would have to, of course, they'd have to give you something crazy, but I just can't foresee a team doing that because, again, he's a guy that's coming back off of a kind of a lull of a season, I don't think that we should get rid of him. I think that we need to keep this guy around because, again, we finally have like some depth at a position that we struggled with last season. I don't understand that. I will never understand why Jets fans look at certain positions, right? Whether it be wide receiver or even cornerback, right? And see that there is more than 2 or 3 good guys and be like, oh, time to get rid of that third guy or that fourth guy. We only need 2 good wide receivers. Let's get rid of the rest of those guys. Oh, we only need 2 good corners. Let's get rid of the rest of those guys. And it's like, wait a minute. Why are we doing that? You don't see the Chiefs doing that. The Kansas City Chiefs have a couple really good wide receivers, right? Of course, they just got rid of Tyreek Hill. They sent him to the Dolphins, but they have other guys that can step up. You don't see them trading away guys that give them solid quality depth. You don't see them do that. You don't see other teams around the league doing that. And especially, again, when you look at we've seen the injury bug play out here with the New York Jets. We've seen it. We just came from that. Last season, I just got done talking about it with Colin, that our wide receiver core was decimated with injuries. I think they only played maybe 1 or 2 games fully intact the entire season. Only 1 or 2 games fully intact. Our cornerback position, there was guys missing all throughout the season. Bryce Hall was the constant, but guess what? Echols was in and out. He had injuries. Gundry was in and out. He dealt with injuries. Michael Carter missed a lot of the season with the injury too. Our secondary was bounced around. Our safety position, Marcus May was dealing with there was guys injured. So if you have a guy that can bring solid quality depth and solid stuff to your position, why get rid of him? Especially, again, he's still cheap. He's super cheap. Let's see what the guy has and let's bring it to him again, because we all talk about Denzel Mims. He does have number 1 ability. He does. When he's on, if he's the Denzel Mims that we saw with Adam Gase, and Adam Gase was awful, but the one thing that we came out of that season with, well, there was a couple things, but one of the things offensively that we all talked about was, man, this kid Denzel Mims is something else. We're excited about him going forward. So why get rid of him? But we'll keep talking about that again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. We're talking camp, baby. We talking training camp. We talking about it all. So now we're going to go back to Steve. Hopefully Steve's phone is good to go and he's not calling us from the bottom of a Ruffles bag, all right? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'm hoping that his phone is together. Steve, I want to welcome you back to the program once again. All right? Hopefully everything is good and you're not calling us from the bottom of a Frosted Flakes box. All right? Give me your thoughts.
Hey, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. See, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm excited about that. Okay. Give me your thoughts about this Jets defense and what we're seeing from Carl Lawson coming back from that injury. He's just been beasting in camp, man. How are you feeling about him so far?
Yeah, no, listen, Joe. I mean, I got to see it all in person last Saturday because I wanted to tell you, I was at Jets training camp last Saturday.
Steve, come on, bro.
Hello?
Come on, bro. Yeah, come on.
Oh, no,
Steve.
no, come on.
Come on, Steve.
I'm in a much better connection.
Well, you got to connect with the connection. You
Joe,
got to
I'm
call. Come on. You got to call your cell phone people. You got to call somebody. Who's your plan? Who you got a plan with? Listen, whoever it is, call them and say, listen, man, I pay too much damn money to not have solid service to call in to the Long Beach Joe Show. I pay too much money. Somebody's got to figure this out. All right? Tell them that Joe told you that you needed to tell them to send you a new phone. That's what I want to see. Get a refund. Tell them.
Well, I can hear you, Joe.
Well, we can't hear you, Steve. Go give us something, man. Give us something.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, Steve. Come on. We on our last leg here, baby. I need to hear you talk about Carl Lawson. Give us your takes.
No, Carl Lawson has been a beast. Mm-hmm. There was a video of him after practice with another one of the players, and they were running together at camp at the end of practice. And Lawson looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, the thing is, Joe, let me just tell you something. When I watched the team practice, let me tell you, it was awesome to watch the team practice. I mean, it's just, the thing is, the team is so in sync, and there was also one point that happened during the week was when Saleh actually stopped the middle of practice. It was after when the Jets had a water break, and he stopped in the middle of practice and didn't like the energy.
Yep.
And then he said, "We got to get the energy back together." No, when Coach Saleh did that, I thought that was awesome. I mean, listen, if this was like Adam Gaze's team all over again, Adam Gaze would just let the practice go on.
Yeah, he would, and I'm glad that changed up. And I'm like, I was talking about it earlier, that it's a different time here, right? And a lot of people kind of shrugged their shoulders at that and was like, yeah, whatever. No, you practice how you play, and if you practice like trash, you're gonna go out there and play like trash. That's a fact, and we saw that. Adam Gaze practices awful, playing like trash when we got out there on the field, setting the tone as a leader of this football team, which is what Saleh is, setting the tone as, the guy that's going to be that is at the head of this football team, setting the standard as the head of this football team as well, is extremely important. Hey, look, you're not getting it done. You're coming out of water breaks. The energy's kind of lackluster. Pump it back up and get it together. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the guys did. And the great thing is the players responded. That shows you that they respect them. So, you know what I'm saying? I loved it. I love that. But my final question for you, Steve, because you're calling in with the heat, man. Give me your thoughts about what we're seeing so far at camp from Denzel Mims, man. This guy's looking phenomenal. How are you feeling about him?
No, listen, Denzel Mims, I will admit this, Denzel Mims has looked good, Joe, and I even saw him in practice too, and I saw how he was doing. But the thing is, Joe, I'm still not 100% sure if he is going to make the final roster, because as of right now, he has been playing with the third string offense, because that's what I saw when I camped on Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Again, he in my mind is probably that number 5 wide receiver, man.
Yeah. And the other thing is also, too, Joe, is, Zach Wilson looks so much better at throwing the ball, and he's making also much better decisions. Let me tell you, I especially like the way how Zach's been handling the ball. And the best part is, Joe, when Breece Hall gets his hand on the ball, the whole Jets crowd said, "Breathe," the whole entire day, every time he got his hand on the ball. And that's something that we could be seeing in a lot of home games this year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Joe, and tomorrow's obviously the green and white practice, which I'll be attending tomorrow night.
Yep.
So I'll get to see the team again at MetLife tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's and we'll talk about that as the program continues on. But yeah, seeing Zach Wilson really go out there, spin the ball the way that he's been spinning is looking phenomenal. Again, the work in the red zone has gotten better. But listen, Steve, I got to slide off, man. I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, Steve calling in. He's got to get a new phone, man. He's got to, I don't know what service plan he's with, what's going on here, but they got to clean it up. All right, you got to come on. Whoever Steve's service provider is, from Joe to you guys got to get it together. I like talking to Steve, and you guys are making it tough. All right. So we'll get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. We're getting to everybody. Salutes to the savages in the chat. Let me tell y'all how savage this is. We just got done talking about Steve and his, phone issues. NY Jets FL says Steve needs 2 cans and a string. That's what he's calling in on. I didn't say that. That's NY. So direct your issues to him. I'm just saying, it's savage, man. It's savage around here. Nobody is safe, man. Savage. Oh, man. These boys are a bunch of damn savages, man. We're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Please, when you call in, make sure your phone is good, okay? Do not call me from the bottom of a Coupe de Ville, all right? I need to be able to hear you, all right? So now we're going to the lines again. 813, we're coming directly to you. Give me your name, your number, or give me your name and where you're from. You're looking like a new caller. A will come to you next. 646 will come to you next. 813, how you doing? Give me your name, where you're from, and give me your thoughts on Zach Wilson, the way he's looked.
Hey, Joe. This is Mike. I've called you before. I changed my number. I moved down to Tampa.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Jets fan in Tampa.
All right. Look,
yeah.
Good that you in Tampa. So, I hope you enjoy yourself.
Yeah, bright and sunny with palm trees. Yeah. Very nice.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about. Give me your thoughts on Zach, man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, from what everyone's saying, and I've been listening to a few other, podcasts and stuff. I really look at Zach Wilson not from his stats from last year, especially the first half. It's like going to college. You screw up your first year and you get D's and F's, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, oh, you start eighth in the next 3 semesters, and you're lucky if you can get a B-, right? You can ace the whole thing, but what you established in the beginning is what, that New England game with the 4 interceptions. I mean, just killed all his stats. So you have to really look at him from the last 5 games or last 7 games and look at his stats. And even the last 2 games, especially against the Bucks, he had no receivers.
Yeah.
He's with the, 3rd, 4th string receivers, and then even against the Bills, you're playing with an offensive line with what's the guy's name? 69 McCormick out there. Mm-hmm. He was getting sacked constantly and under pressure constantly. Yeah. And we ended up at least getting a touchdown, but we start to hold them on defense. So that's the Zach Wilson that I'm looking at, and then I'm not going to be shocked when he excels. I remember the gentleman before me was mentioning about Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore in the beginning of last year was doing great in camp. Then he hurt his quad.
Yep.
And then when Zach Wilson was playing the first game, he's going to rely on, first of all, he doesn't know the offense that great. He's seeing an NFL speed game the first time. He didn't play that bad against the Panthers. But the thing is, if you ever look at the film, especially if you Joe Blewett, when he goes through his film studies,
mm-hmm.
he shows you that Elijah Moore is constantly. He was constantly open in that game. I mean, he wasn't even thrown to him. Or if he was, again, he's a rookie. He's going to be nervous. He dropped a pass or two. And as the year went on, you saw him in the Philadelphia game and whatever. He was catching everything. His hands were like glue.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him against Miami. Miami was scared. They couldn't stop him.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop him. But that's what I'm looking forward to. That's what's going to happen in the beginning of this year. So when you look at the Jets, you got to look at them from the second half of the year, and then look at how he managed the games, how he was making decisions much quicker and better, going through his precisions. And the thing is, again, no tight ends. So you're looking at it now. You got tight ends. You got Zuma. You got the Conklin, right? Rucker doesn't have to perform.
Mm-hmm.
He can wait till half a year before he really gets into it, and he's going to be a devastating blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And he has hands.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find another weapon midway through the season and go, oh my gosh, look at what we're doing. And he was always there, but he didn't have to be pressured. And Breece Hall during the draft period, I was all over him. I wanted him from the start. He is, when he was in Iowa State, he had no offensive line, and all this guy does is score touchdowns.
Man,
25 touchdowns a year.
Yeah,
with nobody.
Yeah,
with the line. Imagine now he's Baxton and Tomlin. Come on, guys, he's going to run rampant. I wouldn't be surprised if the first game he gets 185 yards combined with receiving and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that would not be out of the realm of.
Yeah, and Mike, and I'm telling you're going down a great path here. You're talking about Breece. I think Breece is going to be phenomenal, but I also think that there's a lot of people not talking about Michael Carter as well. You talked about, some of the things that we have now offensively, things are changing around. listen, Michael Carter last season was running around with nobody being able to open a hole up front, and he was still gaining yards here and there. He was. There's a lot of times where, honestly, he was handed the ball. He should have taken maybe a 1 or 2 yard loss, and he turned it into a 1 or 2, maybe 3 yard gain. We also saw him coming out the backfield as well, catching the football effectively. That was huge too for us. He won us games doing that stuff. So I think that the running game being better this upcoming season is definitely going to bode well for Zach Wilson too, because that kind of eases the pressure off of him. Because again, I think that's why the Jets were so easy to defend last season. It was, hey, you just stack the box. They can't run. You send everything in the kitchen sink at Zach Wilson, and you just smash him. And that's what we saw. That's why he got hurt against the Patriots. That's literally what they did. I mean, and every week it was like that from week 1 until he got hurt, because we saw the Panthers do that. The Panthers lit him up. Hassan Riddick and I forgot Burns, I think it was just having their way with us consistently, and it was because that's exactly what the game plan was. So, go ahead.
And the line wouldn't protect him. They wouldn't.
Nope.
If he got knocked down, they wouldn't get pissed at the other team.
Nope.
Which is something different, because Tomlinson's, but he's saying things like that, like, "Hey, we got you, Bubba." So he's establishing an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But to get back to Carter, and during his draft, what was he known for? He was known for getting extra yards, getting hit from behind the line or whatever it was, and making those extra yards and having great. And that's exactly what you got when he came to the pros. What you're going to get from Breece Hall is exactly what he did in college.
Yeah.
All he does is score touchdowns, and you're going to be that. Now, the thing is that what I'm happy about is not taking anything away from Michael Carter. I thought he was great. The issue is he's a little too small. He can't handle the everyday load, every down load. He can't do that.
I don't think that's necessarily true though, because we saw him handle the load last season. Now, again, we are in a run-first offense. And I want to remind everybody of that, because I've gone back and forth with a lot of Jets fans who think some reason we're the Saints now. They think we're going to, or we're like the Rams, for the old Rams, the greatest show on turf or something. We're not that. Okay. We are a run-first offense. No. I do think that Michael Carter would be able to carry the rock. But again, I think it's tough to really, I think it's tough for me when I hear a lot of people say that, because we had an offensive line that wasn't opening anything up last year. So how can you discount him? Well, I'm telling you, when we go back and we watch those games, they weren't opening anything, nothing. And he was the only guy that was really moving the rock like that. Like I said, I think he's the only 100-yard rusher, single 100-yard rusher we had the whole year. So I think Michael Carter can carry the load. But again, because this system is all about being kind of a multi-back system, we see it with the Niners. We're running the same thing. The Niners do the same thing. They run a myriad of running backs. They got a bunch of guys, right? I think that we'll see that this year, and that 1-2 punch is going to be huge. But go ahead and give me your thoughts on that, and also give me your thoughts on Denzel Mims and the performance that we've seen out of him in camp so far too.
To finish with Michael Carter, I agree with you 100%. And the great thing about Michael Carter and Breece Hall together is you're going to get the same production. So if one comes in, you're not going to say, "Oh, okay, this is definitely a run." You're not going to pass him. He doesn't really have hands like Ty Johnson. This guy is horrible. But now when you switch Breece Hall and Michael Carter, you're going to get the same type of production. They both have great hands. They both great tackles. They both run, and now you can run the full myriad of plays, offensive running plays, and there's no change. There's no what we can key on. That's what's great about the two. Okay, is that I have the full playbook at hand.
Yeah,
and it still run the same play.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing. It's just that whether it was too much of a load for him, because then they lean too much on him, because the rest of the guys were not that great.
Yeah.
to say the least. And Van Roten on the line, which got Becton hurt. Please.
Oh my God.
That was a disaster.
I'm so glad that he is gone, Mike. I'm telling you, if there's one guy that I'm glad is not on this team, Greg Van Roten was terrible, man. I'm talking awful. Goodness. He was terrible. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Now with Mims, looking at how they looked at the draft and try to analyze Joe Douglas, which is difficult, and he's doing a great job building this team. He had to really rip it down and build a whole new foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Would you look at next year? You got Corey Davis on his last year. right? Well, and he typically gets hurt. Thank God he got his surgery, and hopefully that surgery that they were saying is going to alleviate other things that he had wrong with him for the years. If you start having injuries, then Mims is an asset to keep. Okay, but if not, and say your receiving core next year is Corey Davis for the extra year, you have Wilson, you have Elijah Moore, you still have Berrios, and whether or not Jeff Smith or whomever else is on the team, can you get away with those 3 or 4 rather than the 5, including them? And then to get the guy from Chicago, the offensive tackle,
Tevin Jenkins.
He's a good tackle.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing with Tevin Jenkins, and I've gone back and forth with a lot of people about him, and about trading for him. Here's the deal: is that I don't think that we should be looking to trade Denzel Mims unless it's for something like really significant, right? I don't think we should be looking to move on from Denzel Mims because we have 3 or 4 solid wide receivers, because we saw our wide receiver core get, hit with injuries last season, and there was nobody for Zach to throw to, right? So why not have 5 good guys if you could? And again, at his best, and we're seeing it in camp, at his best, Mims is a guy that can honestly challenge to be the Jets' number 1 wide receiver or number 2 wide receiver. We've seen that. So why give that guy away? First off. Second off, a lot of people talk about Tevin Jenkins. I'd like Tevin coming out in the draft. I did. But there's a lot of question marks about him, and there's a lot of questions as to why all of a sudden it's talk about him being available. And no one's discussing that. There's talks about him being there's talks about his weight being an issue. There's talks about him having maturity issues that there's, again, these are rumors that are swirling, that there's talks about him having maturity issues and injury issues as well. So it's like, why would we do that? We already, quote unquote, had that issue with Mekhi Becton. Remember, everybody was going off on Mekhi about weight issues and injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's like, what exactly are we bringing him in here for what reason? Listen, I understand, backup tackles and stuff like that. There's guys on the free agency list that we can go after. But I'm not looking to trade a guy that we took in the 2nd round that, he had a down year last year, but we know he has ability. He's starting to show that ability. And now that he's showing it, and we're like, well, we got 4 good guys, let's just move on from you. Why? Why do that? Because guess what? And I tell everybody, it's not Madden. One of those guys are going to not be on the field at some point. Maybe Corey Davis needs a blow. Maybe Elijah Moore is getting tired. Well, let's put Mims out there. Now you got to cover a fresh Denzel Mims, who's unbelievably athletic. Good luck with that. Or let's put all 5 of those guys on the field at the exact same time. Pick your poison.
No, I agree with you.
Pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? So that's my mindset there. I'll let you get the last word. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have a plethora. Yeah, you have a plethora of talent right now, and we haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah. So
you look at that and you say, hey, you know what? Let's try to start playing with different pieces and stuff like that. And it's a nice way to think about it, but you're right. It's more beneficial for us to keep him and see how he develops. And the other thing too is that you also have another year of all this nutritional and the medical staff that they brought on last year, and you're already seeing it do wonders with Becton and everybody else. So you're getting you're getting a totally different team and a totally different attitude. And you can't look at it just from stats. I hate to say it, but stats are nice, but it doesn't tell you everything that's going to happen, because there's the human element that you forget.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to dictate.
Yeah, it is. But listen, Mike, I got to slide off and listen. I want to thank you for calling in. I want to hear from you more often, though, Mike. I want to hear from you a bit more often.
Yeah,
you're a good caller, man.
All right, good to hear you, Joe.
All right, you have a good one, my friend. Listen, Mike calling in with some takes, man. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share the stream with your friends and your family. You want to give to the platform, the super chat's there. If you don't want to hit the super chat, the cash app's at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to everybody. Salutes to everybody watching. everybody coming on by, man. This is great. GVH in the chat, salutes to the Savage, said it was hard to run with Van Roten and a rookie at the interior line position. Didn't help that no lineman stood up for Zach. Yeah, he's talking that talk. He's telling the truth. I'm telling you, this running game is going to be something different this season. So we're getting back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy A. My guy A is on the line. Listen, salutes to you, A. I want to thank you for calling in. It's always good to hear from you. A, give me your thoughts about this defense, man. We got Kwon Alexander on the field now with us. We got Carl Lawson back beasting. How are you feeling about this, man?
Long Beach, what's up, bro? What's good?
What's going on, man? How you
for
doing?
the first time in a long time. All right. For the first time in a long time, we seem to have a little bit of an embarrassment of riches.
Mhm.
I didn't think that they would come, but finally we're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got some guys, man.
So,
how are you feeling about Carl Lawson, man? He's out there after that injury, right? We were hoping that, you know, he would take it easy. Bro, he's going out there and just blowing people off the line. Like, he's constantly being reported as being in Zach's face. He almost had two or more sacks, you know, would have been sacks just today in practice. It's like, how are you feeling about this guy just recovering from that injury, coming back and looking the way that he's looked?
That's Super Saiyan Goku. That's what he does. He takes his Zetsu beam, he's ready to go. Come on, I don't think we expected anything less. We knew that was happening. As soon as he was on Flight 2020 watching anime, I said, oh, this guy's out of his mind. They don't know what to unleash.
Dude, he looks
He goes
like
up to lifting mountains and stuff.
Yeah, he looks like an action
Yeah,
figure.
he looks like an anime character.
Yeah, he looks like a complete
Yeah,
action.
he
It's
looks like
crazy.
an anime character.
It is crazy the way he looks, man.
Right.
He's just jacked. It's insane. But I'm excited about him and what he's bringing to the table and the pressure. But I tell you what, Kwon Alexander now being on the roster is exciting too, because that shores up that weak side linebacker spot. And we also saw him come in and have a immediate impact. He's going out there and really hitting guys in training camp. How are you feeling about this linebacking core now that he's here?
It gave me a sigh of relief. I'm glad JD pulled the trigger on him, you know, because now we got some versatility. We can kind of match up a little bit better. So, like, our first week is Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we should go 4-2-5, and we have MC Carter out there, MC2 out there. But, you know, running down, you know, the Ravens like to run down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can go to a true 4-3. You know, and my fantasy is you actually kind of put Kwon where MC is at the slot, you know, over the slot, and maybe have like Quincy Nelson spy Lamar.
Mm.
So my fantasy is Quinn up the middle, Carl Lawson come out. Carl Lawson around the edge. As soon as Lamar try to escape, what did Quincy Williams do? What he always do, Joe? He takes heads completely clean off.
Yep. Yeah. You talking
So I'm looking for him to spy Lamar. So, you know,
Yep.
Exactly. So first and second down, you have Quincy spy Lamar. Then you can bring MC2 when it's third and long, and then you can unleash the dogs. You can kick JFM into the inside, have Jermaine Johnson and Carl Lawson on the outside. This thing could be really wicked.
Yep.
I just hope that that Rob Saleh, you know, pulls those levers. You know, plays with this sort of the mixes and matches. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmy and Joes, and we got some good Jimmy and Joes. I'm hoping our coaching staff will unleash those dogs, though. You got to unleash them.
Talk to him, A. Talk to him. Go ahead.
Have
Talk
that
to him.
NASCAR package.
Yeah.
Have that NASCAR package.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ravens want to go first and second, right? You put JFM, Quentin Williams. See, I don't know who he really. Carl Lawson. And I mean,
Jermaine
whoever
Johnson
else can win in that interior line.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be
Jermaine Johnson
run down
outside.
first. Run down first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Run down first.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like JFM actually as an end on rundowns.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that big end. You know what I'm saying? And then when you force him to turn long, you can kick him inside, playing that 3 technique. God help you trying to block him as a guard trying to block him.
Boy.
And then have Jermaine Johnson, Carl Lawson, Quentin Williams get him.
Yep.
Or we going hunting. We eating quarterbacks for dinner, lunch, and breakfast.
Man, and we ain't even talking about, you know, Michael Clemens as well, a guy that can really put some things together too. So, man, this just D-line is beastly. Yeah. It is beastly. And there's so many battles going on as well as we continue throughout camp. I want to get your thoughts on this, man, because I know we're talking about the front half with, Carl Lawson, Jermaine Johnson. You talked about JFM and
Quinn, Jacob Martin, Vinny Curry.
Man,
you
so
keep
many
going.
guys, so many guys. Like you said, Jacob Martin as well.
Backups for starters.
Yeah, Sheldon Rankins. Like, there's so many guys. But let's talk about this secondary, though, bro. I want you to give me your thoughts about this battle between Sauce and Bryce Hall, man. All right, listen, that boy Sauce, he's something else. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's something else.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts about this battle, because there's a lot of talk about, that they're going back and forth. And again, we know that they're rotating through that first team defense. How are you feeling about it, man?
I love it. Dogs breed dogs. It's not iron sharpens iron. Dogs breed dogs.
Yep.
So I think we're going to bring the best out of each other, And it's nice to know that if DJ Reed gets mixed up or Sauce gets mixed up, we got Bryce Halls and Brandon Echols who already kind of went through the wars right there in the back. So we got versatility. We got depth out the wazoo. So that's how you build good teams. Everyone talk about, we should trade Hall now. Did we not know that we just have a rash of injuries? Like, did we not realize that like half our secondary walked out the bench yesterday and like broke a rib or tore an ACL? Like, we want to go through that again? Don't trade away your nice things. Depth is called depth for a reason. So I think Sauce is probably going to win out, but I think Hall deserves to be a starter too. So I mean, you can't go wrong. I love it.
Yeah. And now I want to go over to the offense with you really quickly, man. There's been a lot of talk about things that we're seeing over there, man. This Zach Wilson, he's been a little up and down, but these last couple practices looked really good. He's worked really well in the red zone. Give me your thoughts about him, man. How are you feeling about how he's looked in camp so far?
Well, so far, unfortunately to me, Zach has been consistently inconsistent. So, once we find him, once he plays at his top tier, I think he's as good as anybody. But they say reports from camp, he's like still throwing worm feeders where he's underthrowing receivers and it's going in the ground. Not able to hit certain screen passes, and then the next series he rolls out and with a flick of the wrist hits him for the 50-yard bomb.
Yep.
So it's like we can get that guy playing within the schedule of offense. I heard that he's reading quicker. The ball come out a little bit faster, but there's sometimes where he's still holding the ball too long, so he's still having an inconsistency. And this whole offense is going to go as he goes.
Yeah. And
I don't talk about Carl Lawson, and he's a beast, but it seems to be a lot of people eating. Like a lot of people getting sacked. Vinny Curry got a sack. Yep. Jabari Zuniga, who I didn't even know he was still alive, got a sack. So it's like 8 different dudes who got a sack. So it's all coming from the tackles. So 1 or 2 guys is eating. I get it. But now we got 5, 6, 7, 8 guys eating. Are we that good, or do we have problems?
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask you.
Yeah. Well, again.
So, we'll have to see.
This was before pads, defense generally will win up front before you put the pads on. But even after the pads, like you said as well, we're seeing Carl Lawson eating. We're seeing other guys eating as well, getting sacks. Now, I will say this. The backup O-line is awful. You look at Connor McDermott, he comes in, he immediately gives up a sack. So, but those guys are not the starters, right? But I think it's going to take a little bit of time for the line to gel a bit. Again, there has been some good moments, there has been some bad moments, but again, our offensive line is going to be okay. I think they're going to be near the top of the league. But I just think our defensive line is just beastly, man. And again, we still got a lot of moving parts. We got Becton moving over to the right side. You got ATV on the right side. Guys are still kind of getting used to what's going on here. And that's where my next question comes for you is give me your thoughts about Becton being moved to right tackle. This happened after the last show that we had. No competition. He's over there. He's competing. There's a lot of people getting after him because, again, he's still getting himself back into football shape. What are your thoughts about what we've seen out there with him just going out there, running well through the drills and doing his thing?
I think it was the right move. If I can say one more thing real quick, Tom McDermott, I would trade him for a bag of footballs. I don't even know why he's still on the team. But back to my man Becton. I think it was the right move. In my opinion, you got 2 quality left tackles on our team. So I think, in my opinion, someone didn't move Becton to the right side because he was down on the left. I think he did it because Fant was good on the left. When he went to right tackle, he got exposed against the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't a good right tackle. So just put him out where he excels. Don't fit the square peg into the round hole. If he does it on the left-hand side, he great as one of the top 10 left tackles. So put Fant over there.
Yeah.
You know, Becton played right tackle at Louisville. He did play some right tackle at Louisville. He has ideal right tackle size, and then he paired him up with, AVT. And, you know, hopefully we get the quote-unquote smash brothers. They called themselves that before they ran one play. But, you know, hopefully we actually see that and it comes to fruition. So I think it was a good move. I wish they didn't say right off the back, we're going to have a competition. Well, you know you're going to have a competition. Just call it what it is. You know, you have people think that they're going to compete. But I think it's the right thing to do to get the chemistry now. I'm on the right side. You're on the left side. We have everyone where they're going to be. Let's start to gel together. And hopefully we can do that because if McDermott, you know, Fant needs to get in there because I think he only had like 3 reps. And supposedly we had those 3 reps. Wilson did well, you know, so we see what it is. But when Fant's not in there, he's running for his life. And it's probably because the player's coming off, you know, McDermott or Doga side. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, we need another tackle, you know, and there's some guys out there. You got Darrell Williams, you got Eric Fisher, you got Dwayne Brown. Yeah. You know, some veteran guys who could probably put their arm around like Becton, who supposedly is immature. I don't think so, but people say that he's immature because, you know, he'll clap back at Rich Samini when he talks all his mess. Well, the big plus shirt, which I like. Hold
on a second, A. I will say this. This about him getting back at Rich Samini. Now, I'm just being fair. Now, what Rich Samini did, okay, really quickly, so when they first announced that right tackle stuff, that they were moving Becton to right tackle, there was not going to be a competition. They didn't want these guys, you know, going back and mixing each other up between their spots, right? Sulla said during that conference, Becton's days at left tackle are not over. He said that in OT, capital letters, not over. Rich Samini reported that Sulla said that Becton's days at left tackle are over. That's what he reported. They're over, right? So he did that.
He's a jerk.
And I'm sure that Becton saw that, and I know that him and Rich have gone back and forth, or maybe Rich has rubbed him the wrong way before, and I felt like that really pushed him over the edge because there was even fans that went off about it. Again, I respect all Jets beat, all Jets media. I have no issues with anyone. But right after that is when Becton started clapping back at him. That's when he started to go at Rich like crazy. I mean, not like crazy. He doesn't go off on him constantly, but he started responding to him in particular. So I think that that's what set him off, was like, you're reporting that he said my left tackle days are done when they're not done. And he said that they're not done, and you're just doing that. You know what I'm saying? And again, there were also certain people that was constantly reporting that he, you know, could be on the move, that he was all that stuff. You know, you're overweight, out of shape, you're 400 pounds, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think that all of that has gotten to him. I'm not saying that Rich did those things. I'm just saying all of that's gotten to him, and I think that that's what really upset him with Rich Samini. So go ahead.
But I get it, no, and I think these people are out of their mind, you know, because he could be in left tackle next year. If Fant has a bad year, his contract isn't guaranteed. They didn't extend his contract yet. So if they were Fant, they're going to have to put Becton over there, you know? Corey Davis, another guy, his contract is not guaranteed. They go, trade Denzel Williams. Are you out of your mind? Yeah. If he gets hurt, he's
Denzel
the next prototype big back. And he's the best prototype big wide receiver we have. We're a run-first oriented team. So when you want to break these 20-yard plus explosive runs, is when you're blocking at third level, those receivers are blocking. Who's the best blocker we got? I'm sorry, it's not Elijah Moore. He's 5'9", 175, 185 pounds now. He's putting some muscle. But Denzel Mims, he's 6'3", he's a beast. He's gonna spring that back. So why are we trading him? You know, why wouldn't we have him as a red zone threat? Yeah. Let Elijah Moore, Brandon Berrios, all our small, quick guys get us in between the 20s. When we're 20s and below, we go play jump ball with CJ Moser, Conklin, and Mims. Yeah. We got a basketball team out there in the 20 yards. Why are we trading out of the way? Makes no sense to me.
I've gone back and forth with a lot of Jets fans that want to get rid of Denzel Mims if he performs as well as we all hope. And I'm saying that's the same way. Why are we getting rid of this guy if, one, we saw us get decimated with injuries? There's a lot of things that he can do, you know, that can really help this football team offensively. And if he turns out to be that guy, man, he's one of the guys that can honestly push to be our number 1 or number 2 wide receiver, because of the size and because of everything else. We saw the catch radius when he was with Sam. There was times where Sam was throwing balls at him and we were like, there's no way he should catch that. And he would just jump up, catch it, or extend out and catch the football. I remember he made a catch along the sidelines one time, and it was crazy. So it was like, what is going on around here? You know what I'm saying? Like, one-handed catching, all kinds of stuff. And we were like, what in the world is happening? And coming out of that first season, we were like, man, we might have something in Denzel Mims, and now people want to get rid of him. And I don't get it, because depth in this league matters. Not everybody's going to go through the season and be fully healthy. We saw that. We've been bitten by that bug. I don't want to live through that. But before I let you go, A, because you've been bringing some heat, man, really quickly, give me your thoughts about Coach Sulla, man. Stopping practice and addressing the lack of energy that he saw within some of the guys and the team responded to him. Give me your thoughts about that and how you think that could affect this football team going forward as far as setting a standard of play.
I like it. That's what he does. That's what we want. We want a CEO leader. We had the offensive guru, which was Adam Gase. Right, he only coached one side of the team. You know, we had the Rex Ryan and Todd Bowles, only coached one side of the team. Mm-hmm. I like a guy who calls together the whole team and says, look, I'm taking the whole temperature. I'm calling the CEO stuff. You know, this is not working. And the guys actually respond to them. You know, they tuned out Adam Gase like halfway through the season. Yeah. You know, they were dead. They were dead in the water with Adam Gase. Yeah. So, you know, to know that we have a guy who's actually going to, and lead by example, this guy is jacked. He's running stairs pregame. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy, you know, you want to lead who's going to lead by example, and that's what we got. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we have the potential to be very good. On paper, we're paper champions right now. Mm-hmm. You know, we have everything we need to hopefully get it done on the field. You know, so I think it's really rest on Zach Wilson, you know, if he takes that leap, and Salah, if he can make those adjustments. Did you hear about him actually doing the halftime where he actually practiced halftime adjustments?
Yeah, he was doing that too.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and that's
good. That's good stuff. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, we haven't had a decent coach in a long time. I will say that there's been some train wrecks. You know, we talked about Bowles, we talked about Adam Gase. Oh boy, oh man, those were some tough times. Those were some tough times, man. Tough times. Yeah,
we've been through the dog ages. I'm hoping it builds character being a Jets fan.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we have to dump the fire ages. I really hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, hey, I got to slide off, man. I want to thank you for calling in. Listen, I want to hear from you more often, man. We definitely go back and forth, but definitely call into the show more often. I want to hear from you. All right.
All right, my guy. Be blessed.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, A calling in with some takes, man. Let's go. Listen, salutes to all the savages in the chat. This has been a great show. You know what I'm saying? We had it all. We had takes. We had, phone issues. We had, going back and forth. We want to trade people. We want to keep people. We want to do it all. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do it for. I love this team, and I love talking about it with everybody and sharing my thoughts. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Again, NY Jets FL says, great show, Joe. Salutes. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Also, Jet Knight says LBJ should link up with Jets Guru. Listen, any Jets content creator that is out there, all right, I'm very easy to work with. You want to hit me up, let's go back and forth, make it happen. I've said this constantly, unless you crazy, all right, unless you just off the wall crazy and you doing crazy stuff. I love talking football with everybody, and if my schedule allows it, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about, going back and forth with, my brothers and sisters that are wearing that Jets jersey, you know what I'm saying, and talking football. And even those of you that don't wear Jets jerseys, I've definitely talked to people that don't wear Jets jerseys. I love talking to everyone about football and about this football team. Very easy to hit up. Hit me in my social medias, anything like that. So we're going to go ahead and close up the show now. It's been a phenomenal show. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Your boy's also on Twitter as well. YoungJ000. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. All times. All times. Elijah Vera Tucker, one of the best guards in the league. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Jets fan. It's big facts. Okay? Not only that, but he's a USC guy. I'm just saying, fight on. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Right? If you want a good guard, if you want a good lineman, draft one from USC. That's all I'm saying. All right? Get it done. So he'll be down there. I'll be down there. You want to troll us? Come on down and we'll troll you right back. Show's page on Twitter as well as at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe. Go ahead and follow the show page as well. We can go back and forth. I'm also on YouTube as well. We do the live shows on YouTube. Come on by. All right? Get on YouTube. Search Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. You can watch the shows live. If you want to troll me, no issues. Get in the comments. Troll me, and I'll go back and forth with you. All right? But come on by and watch. And as always, people, when you see me in person, no matter where you see me, all right, and you will see me, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. No matter what anyone says, the hugs will always remain free. I want to thank everyone for listening, everyone for calling in. I appreciate you folks. I am nothing without you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and call into the show. All right. I'll see you folks in the next show. You folks have a good one. Peace. One second, folks. All right, we are back. Listen, I want to thank everybody for listening, everybody for coming on by. For those of you that are new, exclamation point links in the chat. That brings up my link tree. My link tree has the links to all of my social media, all of my everything, all of my content, everything. There's other YouTube pages I have there as well. Please subscribe to those. I have content coming for those very soon, okay? Very soon, believe me, okay? I know my schedule's crazy. It's getting crazier, but content is coming very soon, okay? Very, very soon. I'm working on some stuff. So, and I have a lot of fun things coming as well. For those of you that are new, we do these shows year round, okay? Year round, we do these shows, and we talk about the New York Jets. Also have people call in that don't talk about the New York or aren't Jets fans, but, you know, call in and talk about the team. We could talk a little football too, but we are a team that wears green, okay? It's green over here. You see this whole ambiance, okay? This is not a joke, all right? This is real talk, real spit, as they would say. Real spit, okay? You know, we have a lot of fun doing that. So this number right here does not change, okay? This is going to be the number to the show for the foreseeable future until I tell you it's not, which means that what a lot of people do is they call in early. They'll call in about, you know, 10 minutes before the show starts, which gets them on the show earlier, okay? So usually you'll have me, I'll come on, you'll be on the line, and, you know, you'll be able to get on earlier. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk my little talk about the team and stuff like that. I try not to run too long. I apologize. I just get fired up about this team, but I usually don't run too long. You know what I'm saying? And then we go to the lines. I really enjoy talking to people. That's the main reason why I do this show. So if you call in about 10 minutes before the show starts, once the show starts, you'll hear me give my spiel about what we're going to talk about, discussing the football team. And, you know, we get into it. Now, again, when you call in, please make sure your phone is good. You've seen what happens when we don't have good lines of communication and I can't hear what you're saying, okay? My audience would like to hear you. I would like to hear you clearly. Please make sure that your phone is good to go. Do not call me from the back of an old Blockbuster store, okay? Call me, okay, on a phone that is good. Let me be able to hear you. Make sure your background's good too. I don't want to hear a bunch of yelling and noise in the background. We can't hear you either. If you want to call me and you're on your jackhammer at your construction job and you're calling me trying to talk to me from the construction site, listen, thank you for calling in. But put the jackhammer down, go down the street to a quiet space, and then talk to me. And then once we're done with our conversation, get back on that jackhammer and get that money. You know what I'm saying? I respect that. I respect the working force. I'm a working man myself. But come on, you know what I'm saying? We need to be able to hear you, all right? So that's the thing there. And again, when you call in, please be patient. I will get to everybody. I can see you, okay? You're putting a cue when you call in, so I can see you. So when you call in, you can hear me, I can see you, all right? So please be patient. Don't hang up, call in and hang up, call in and hang up, call in and hang up, because all I do will put you at the bottom of the queue. Okay? Don't do that. Just call in, wait your turn, and I'll get to you immediately. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to you as soon as possible. Now, keep in mind as well, when you call in, do not call into my show cursing. I'll get you out of here. This is a family show. Do not call into my radio show about the New York Jets cursing. I'll get you out of here fast, okay? That's not going to fly here, all right? Call in, be respectful. Let's go back and forth. I may not agree with your take, but I'm willing to have respectful debate, all right? So let's go back and forth. I'll give you your time. I can't give everybody like 40 minutes or something like that, but I can give you more than enough time to, state your takes. All right? Just be respectful and don't curse or curse a bunch. I'll get you out of here. I'm talking fast. Fast. All right? Listen, I appreciate everybody, man. I really enjoy this stuff. Jetty Knight, salutes to you. Jetty Knight says, you have a great, silky smooth voice. Love your sense of humor and takes on NY Jets football. Keep up the awesome work, LBJ. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you, coming to check out and just talking to me, man. I really enjoy you being here. So thank you for the kind words. And thank you for coming on by, man. Thank you, man. I just love doing this because I love, just talking about the team and talking to fans. I'm a fan myself. I'm not like some, I'm not a player. I damn sure didn't play for the Jets. I'll tell you that. I wish I did, but yeah, I'm all about just connecting with the fan base and connecting with my fellow fans and just talking football. That's what it's all about. Being respectful with each other, talking football, and really discussing this football team because we're so hyped. So salutes to you, Jetty Knight. Thank you so much for the kind words, man, and for the compliment. I appreciate you. Again, please like the stream if you haven't liked the stream already. Also, almost forgot. We also game on this channel too from time to time. So if I pop up after you subscribe, or if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that notification bell. But you may see me pop up and we're playing video games or something like that. GTA, maybe some NBA 2K, Madden, something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. If you see that, hey, come on in and join because we do that too, and we have a lot of fun. We just kind of sit back, kick back, talk about life, stuff like that, and we have a good time. So. That's always good too. So again, I want to thank Jetty Knight for coming on in. Salutes to you. Thank you for coming on by. Mac as well. Mac says, Chuma Edoga, go Trojan. Why you always got to bring up old stuff, Mac? What's the deal with you, Mac? why you gotta bring up old stuff, man? You know what I'm saying? He's still on the roster. So it is what it is. But I told y'all that Chuma wasn't that good. Knight says, most welcome pronounce it's Jedi. Okay. Jedi. Salutes. He says he's a Star Wars dork here. Okay, I respect that. Jedi, good to see you in here, man. Again, good to see Max. Salutes to you. Salutes to Greg, or salutes to GVH as well. Salutes to Bayo. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Bayo says, we out here with the Jets. You heard? Yer. Hey, listen, when I yer, you better yer back. Yer. You know what I'm saying? Savages. GVH says, enjoy the show. He enjoyed the show, Long Beach. Salutes to you. Again, salutes to Bayo, man. Salutes to Max. Salutes to NY Jets FL as well. NY Jets FL. That dude is hilarious, man. Y'all better watch it. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to Jedi again. Salutes to Steel Stone. Good to see you in here. How about them Jets? Good to see you as well, my friend. Just salutes to everybody that came on by. Dave, salutes to you. Dave said, hey, loss is not 100%, and he's still smoking everyone. That's a fact. Salutes, man. Salutes to everybody that just came on by. E. Manning, Jets Mess, good to see you as well in here, man. Everybody that just came on by. Modine, I see you, Mo. I know, you feel how you feel about the team, man, but we're excited. Hopefully, things will change around for you, when you watch this team going forward. Hopefully we have a great season and everything's all right with you. So salutes to everybody, man, that just came on by. Kevin Ramos, good to see you in here as well. And Niger as well. Salutes to you, Niger. Thank you for giving to the platform, man. I want to thank you for that too. And just salutes to everybody that came on by, man, and talked football. It was a blast to sit down and have fun with y'all. Jet Knight says, that's what I'm talking about. You're back. That's, I got friends on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's what they say. You're back. Hey, so again, I want to thank everybody. I'm gonna get on out of here. I think my next show is going to be Tuesday at 7. Tuesday at 7 is going to be the next show. So go ahead and tune in. Again, follow me across my social media platforms. It's in the link tree. It's also in the description as well. Put it in here again for you guys that may be new. So, check that out. Follow me across my social media platforms. Let's go back and forth. As well, listen, again, I'm going to say this. I've gone back and forth with people. Okay. Any Jets content creator that wants to work with me, hit me up. Let's go back and forth, man. Let's set something up. I'm super open to working with any Jets content creator. I'm all about talking about this football team. I'm all about it. All right. All of my contacts is in my link tree. You hit me up on any of my social media platforms and we'll work it out. We'll make it happen. Done. Done. I'm very easy. Anybody that, all of my Jets friends, everybody, look, I'm very easy to work it out with. All right. My schedule's crazy, so we got to figure that out. But hey, if I got the time, let's get it done. So y'all everybody knows that. But I want to say that again. So I really enjoy working with other content creators as well. So link is there. Hit me up. Any of my social media platforms. Let's go back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now, folks. It's been great to speak with you people. Again, I'll see you Tuesday at 7. I believe it's going to be the next show. So listen, I'm going to go ahead and go. Listen, folks, be safe. Okay. Be safe. I don't know what is going on out here in this world, but it is getting crazy, as y'all can clearly see. All right. Be safe. Sit down with your friends, your families, eat some good food, watch some TV, make some great moments, make some great memories with those people. I always say that, allowing the people that you love the most to know that you love them is extremely important. If you love somebody and you care about them and they're in your life and you're in their life and you want, to please let them know. Let them know that they matter and let them know that you love them. That's extremely important in today's time. It's been extremely important to me throughout my life. All right. Hopefully it's important to y'all. Please let the people that you love know that you love them the most. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You folks have a good one. I'll see y'all